I used to do lots of things.
I used to do things and I'd say things and Jesus I was evil. Take things and break things and Jesus I was evil. I never shook babies.
So big news today.
Yeah, kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah,
about 2 hours ago, maybe not even.
it's funny because I was just working, so I check Twitter when I'm working. I just check Twitter. I don't know, once every 3 hours or something. But so I didn't even when you texted me about this a few minutes ago, and I was like, "Why? What happened with Trump?" I'm like, oh, that happened. Yeah, we should at least touch on it
right away. The meme. So, I mean, this will come out at earliest tomorrow. If you don't know, somehow, I envy you for being so tuned out. But Trump was convicted of all 34 counts of the kind of bullshit charges that even any kind of self-respecting, objective person on the left, like plenty of people on the left, I mean, people who don't like Trump, I said this is an absolutely ridiculous case. Like, I think Fareed Zakaria, who's like no fan of Trump, lifelong liberal. Yes, said some pretty cool things recently, but also like I think more well respected than a lot of the crits that are employed over. I think it's MSNBC. Even he was like, if this was anyone else's name but Trump, this wouldn't be a case.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into the details of the case. This isn't like a legal breakdown of it, but he was convicted. Apparently the jury instructions were also crazy. Again, look into it on your own. Maybe I'll do some more. It was like, didn't have to be unanimous, or I think this will be appealed. I think more our focus tends to be more like the cultural impact of it.
Yep.
I think this helps him. I'm going to be honest. Like, I do.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, cool! Looks like he's going to be our next president." So
what I tweeted was, I'm pretty sure by restorative justice they didn't mean restoring Trump to the White House. Like, like that's really what they're doing. He's already making tons of inroads with minority men, especially. And look, not to paint with broad strokes here, but we had a whole fucking summer about it. It's been talked about ad nauseum on the left. Like, if there's one side, if there's one demographic that feels like they've been screwed by the courts, by the establishment, by the legal system, it's me that's not going to help him. They're going to see they're not going to sympathize with him when now that he's actually convicted. I think a lot of the details of how much of a bullshit case this is will come out. And look, I'm not saying that Trump is like innocent of everything. I think he's innocent of this case. Right. I think the Georgia case actually is his worst case, and I think there's some pretty damning evidence there. Now that case got thrown for a loop with Fani Willis, whatever. She's corrupt. Like, they're all corrupt. Like, all these people are fucking corrupt. Yep. But Trump is a traitor to them because he's corrupt on the wrong side and says the wrong stuff, and he's corrupt. But anyway, this case is complete bull. I personally hate Alvin Bragg. I despise like at least Fani Willis. She actually is a pretty cool prosecutor otherwise. She's like, she's like a Law and Order kind of prosecutor. She's not at all one of these restorative justice prosecutors. She's not like a Chezaboudin or your guy, Garcon, or whatever his name. I would say Garcon. It's not that.
Bonin, Mike Bonin.
No, he was the assemblyman. I'm talking about your DA in Los Angeles County. Is it Garcon? It's something like that. Yeah. Not Garcetti. Garcetti was your old mayor. Something. He's not one of these guys in Travis County, Texas, and New York. Like, not at all. She's actually very Law and Order and is doing some pretty crazy shit with rap lyrics. That's an aside. Anyway, but this case is completely political. This shouldn't have been a felony at all. This is a misdemeanor that only became a felony because of the statute of limitations. I think this is really bad for our culture. Even if I didn't despise the Democrats as much as I do, even if I was more sympathetic to Trump or not, I'm very open about how I'm an RFK supporter. This makes me want to support Trump. Is this kind of shit? It feels it's so one-sided and political that it makes me want to support Trump because this is bad for our culture. Because guess what? The Republicans are just going to do the same shit. It's going to become lawfare, and it's never going to stop. It's going to put a grind. It's going to stymie progress. It's only going to lead to violence, to be honest. It's not good for any of us.
Right. And it seems like no matter what, this was going to help him. So even if, if he won the case or was found not guilty, then it's like, oh, see, they tried and they failed because you can't bring down Trump. And then it's like, now he's found guilty. It's like, they're just going to dig their heels. Even, his base is just going to support him even harder.
I don't even think, though, that's like his base was going to support him no matter what. I think this is going to make him more sympathetic.
Yep.
I really do. Like
it actually is the establishment coming after him. So
yes, it's a bullshit case. It's not like he's Nixon. It's not like he was caught red-handed doing something like illegal. Like he did things that are unethical. He did things like he looks like a really bad husband. Yep. But that we've known that shit. And he won. If that was the case, he wouldn't have got elected in 2016, let alone almost won in 2020, yep. And then ahead in like pretty much every state that matters now. Yep. So I only see this making him more sympathetic. Also, it's a combination of that and Biden's terrible. Like people, he's historically low. He's like Jimmy Carter levels right now. Approval ratings, maybe not as the nadir of Jimmy Carter, but pretty bad, like towards Jimmy Carter's end of his only term. So it's a combination of that. It's like you look at the South Bronx when people are like the Bronx, all these places, and people think I'm crazy, but I was sounding the alarm on this in 2020. Every single demographic that is not white men and white women went more for Trump in 2020 than 2016. That's not a good sign for the left. Right. Because after 4 years of your hair on fire, saying how racist he is, how he's a fascist, how he's a Nazi, how he's Hitler, all that shit, it doesn't mean that he won majorities of those. He didn't win majorities of any of them, but he got better in Philadelphia. He got better in every borough in New York.
Yep.
He got better in I know New Jersey really well. He got better. He did better in every single city and town in New Jersey that is like quote unquote majority minority. He did better in LA. He did better in San Francisco. Like he did better, not in San Francisco, super white and Asian, but like he did better in all of these cities. And it's the suburbs that sunk Trump because he lost like the Nikki Haley voter, right? The Reagan Republican. So I think that this is only going to help him and then you have the side of your Biden's going to lose a lot of very left-wing people because of his Israel thing. Again, that doesn't mean those people are going to go vote for Trump at all, but they're just not going to vote or vote for like Cornel West or something. Seriously, like or Jill Stein or maybe even RFK, which doesn't make sense because RFK is very pro-Israel. But anyway, so again, I didn't want to get this into too much. This is like a shocker. Yeah, it literally just happened. We're recording a little after 7, and I think the verdict came in a little after 5, maybe even 6 Eastern time. So it's just really crazy. I don't know what to make of it. It's one of those moments that's like, it's like, oh my God. I thought it's hilarious to think like around 2022 in the midterms it was kind of like this. All right, I guess Trump's done. I guess we're over that. That was crazy. Like, whoa. That was kind of wild. Like all his candidates kind of did shitty and DeSantis was on the rise. And it's like, wow, here we are. And now he's probably like, if I was a betting man, I would put money on Trump to be the president of the United States in November.
Well, I just want to touch on the demographic thing of 2020 of how, largely non-white people, or at least they saw an increase voting for Trump in 2020 over 2016. I wrote an article about that in Medium.
Did you?
I did. It was called "Trump, Latinos, and the Righteous Stupidity of Woke Folk." And here's the thing: so for whatever reason, it got like I didn't submit it to this publication. It got they requested, "Hey, can we publish it?" And I was like, "Sure." And so like this ended up becoming one of my higher paid articles.
Who published it?
They're called "An Injustice." And the tagline is a new intersectional publication geared towards voices, values, and identities. So
they published this.
They published this for some reason.
Ironically,
I don't know. Because here's the thing: there was another article that I wrote that I published just like on
your personal page.
Yeah, on my own page. And I remember what it was. It was about the MLK school district, how they were having segregated meetings.
MLK school district.
Yeah, this is like in 2020 or 2021.
In LA.
No. This is I think it was like around Seattle. I think.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So it was like the MLK like school district or the library, system there. The library branch.
Yeah, I remember that. They had like signs on the door.
Yeah, it said people of color and then whites only. And I thought it was fake. So I saw that. I was like, no, that can't be real. And it turns out it was real. And then so they had to publish an apology saying we're sorry, blah blah blah. So I wrote an article talking about like it's funny, like I intentionally kept the article a little ambiguous. So I think that's why they reached out to me because it was like segregation is still alive and well in 2020 or whatever. So like, oh, this is a great article, this blah blah blah. Yeah. And when they saw that the article was actually criticizing their side of the aisle, then they messaged me say, hey, we're gonna remove this from our publication.
Gotcha. They saw Latino and stopped.
Exactly. So anyway, I published an article, and this one's still on an injustice. But in the wake of the 2020 election, and how Trump saw an increase in votes from Black and Latino voters, I gathered together a lot of like clips and things from journalists talking down to Latinos. And it's just like you're shaming the people that you're trying to win back. And like it was unbelievably condescending. I even wrote in the article like, hey, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I mean at the same time, don't ignore the fact that a lot of Latinos are very conservative, they're very traditional, they're very working class. Trump spoke to them. He did a better job than the Democrats. So knock off this condescending attitude if you want to win them back.
He also talked about opening up. I mean, it's all you have to do is poke your head into like lots of kitchens in America in restaurants, and the people who are cooking your food in a lot of these restaurants are Latinos. And when you shut down restaurants all across, like in these blue states that have a big Latino population, you're taking food out of their mouths. You're taking, you're not letting them pay rent, pay their mortgage, these sorts of things. And I think that also that helped too. But yeah, it's like if you're gonna like this whole tactic of calling him these names, and like I think there's legitimate reasons to criticize Trump, but just going with these kind of bland, banal attacks on him for 4 years, really more than that. If you're going pre-election, once they realize, oh shit, he's the Republican nominee, we have to now attack him instead of platform him because they thought he would be a terrible candidate. Surprise. And if you have even his worst demographic, now it's hard to slice demographics. You can slice demographics all sorts of ways: religion, gender, race, all that shit, education, age, of course. But like, what his worst demographic is probably Black women, right? That is his worst demographic. He doubled that percentage-wise. Now it only went from like 4% to 8%. Sure. But shouldn't it go down if for 4 years you're saying how racist and horrible he is, and how much not only does he hate Black people, he hates women, and how horrible he's doing? Why did it go up at all? So like the tactics didn't work, and that was his worst demographic, and he still did better in 2020. And I think he's only going to expand, because I think a lot of the people who were for Biden 2020, who maybe even were for Trump 2016, are like, look, things were better under Trump. Like my rent was cheaper, groceries, it was easier for me to pay my bills, like it was easier to buy food. And I see them either maybe going third party or going for Trump, or maybe sitting it out because they can't stomach voting for Trump, but they're not going to vote for Biden. Then Biden loses. Like that's it. He won, because if you look at like rings around a lot of cities that went more red, that cut into that Democrat lead, he made up for it in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, and Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and Orange County, California, which was a red stronghold for years and years and years. And now that's actually going back red after a couple of years. I think, outside of Huntington Beach, which is the Florida of California, but like the Asians and the white people in Orange County are going, all right, we'll go back. Like we'll vote Trump again. I bet you I'm going to fill out there's a lot that's going to go on until then we'll get off this. A lot that's going to happen these next however many months. I'm going to fill out a map, what I think my map's going to be, but I think Orange County goes red in 2024 for the first time since I think 2012.
Wouldn't be
for presidential shit.
Right. Looking back on 2015 and 2016, like that was a very fun time. Like, I mean, like it was chaotic, but I was much more progressive. But looking back, it's like there was so much crazy shit. I
Yeah, I was that's why I criticize this because I get it. Like I also, as much as I criticize the crits, I also understand where a lot of them are coming from. I was one of them. Like to an extent, I always give myself credit. I didn't go as far with a lot of stuff, free speech stuff, yada yada. I was more this race stuff. I was more about class stuff, which I kind of still am. In many ways in terms of policy. But you know, I was horrified when Trump won. Like really, I was just like despondent. I remember I didn't go to class the next day. I got way too drunk, and it was silly. I did. It was silly. You know, I was one of those people. I was like, we just elected a dictator, like that kind of shit. I was also in law school, in like a pretty progressive law school. Like, I don't know, that'll do it to you. And that's hilarious. That if RFK is on the ballot in New Jersey, I might vote for Trump. I was being all like, more just because I fucking hate the Democrats so much. I hate Biden. I hate this bullshit. Like. There are some of them I like, but as a party, this progressive BS, this lawfare, like it is so terrible for the people it pretends to stick up for and to defend. It just ruins communities. It ruins cities. I think I just can't stand it. And I don't know. I'm definitely leaning that way more than I ever have. I've never voted for Trump, but. Man, it's becoming more and more appealing. But if RFK is on the ballot, I'm voting for him because I actually would be voting for RFK because he's my favorite. He's one of the few politicians I actually really love. So we'll see.
Well, real quick about how Democrats ruin cities. You'll get a kick out of this. You might have seen it. I tweeted about it a while back. But
I'd say it's more progressives ruin cities.
Yeah,
especially Boston. They're next. Their dumbass mayor is. It's like, have you not looked at what Seattle and Portland and San Francisco and LA have done? Have you not looked at that? And now you're now you're gonna go, you know what? That looks good. And what I'm saying is, if you don't know what I'm talking about, she the mayor, first Asian American, bisexual. I don't know if she's actually bisexual, but she's one of those mayors. Who won, and her identity was a big deal. And she's like, we're not gonna prosecute crimes. And it's like, God damn it, have you not paid attention for 4 fucking years? Like,
well, that's why I just want to bring this up real quick. So this is just some home decor store. Like I was buying something for my sister's birthday, and there are 4 taxes on this purchase. There is the California state tax, the Los Angeles county tax, the Los Angeles county district tax, and the Los Angeles local tax.
Wait, what? I got county. What's the district? And wait, the district and the what? Local?
The district. So the county, district, and local. All Los Angeles.
Man, yeah, that's gonna turn you into a libertarian.
I know it is. It's turning me more and more libertarian. It's at least when it comes to this, but it's funny because like there's a new proposal to raise the sales tax more to fight homelessness.
California is not taxed enough.
I know exactly, to fight homelessness, because like they've already spent millions and billions of dollars.
Billions and billions of dollars,
and have gotten nothing. So it's like, we just need more. We need a few more billions.
Dude, you're just describing, and I cannot recommend this book enough. San Francisco by Michael Schellenberger. Fantastic book. I mean, it's literally called San Francisco, Why Progressives Ruin Cities. He's not, and again, he's not that it should matter, it should be about the substance, but he's not some like hard right Fox News type guy.
He's old school liberal.
He's an old school liberal who moved out to the Bay Area for environmental reasons. He actually is like, he's written environmental books too. He's a big like nuclear guy, but he's criticizing it from that side. He was one of these guys who believed all of this still, like ham-fisted, full-throated, believed these policies, and he just saw the degeneration of the Bay Area. Your home area, Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you're not from like that exact area. Is San Jose? How'd that go? How's that going?
Not great. It's getting pretty bad.
Really?
It is getting worse, and it is one of those things where it's like I have a couple of friends up there, and they're saying, like just the homelessness and the traffic is getting really bad, and they would actually want to move to LA, but they're just. But it's funny because they're like, if we're gonna have to deal with that, at least let's deal with it in a place that's fun, that has more stuff to do than San Jose.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And actually, LA is slightly cheaper from what I. It's a little bit cheaper than the Bay Area overall. So we're gonna have the same problems, just a slightly few more benefits, so we might move to LA. So
right, it's like yes, exactly. San Jose doesn't have the same cachet to it that LA does.
Exactly,
At least you get to say you live in Los Angeles, which is cool. Dude, I'm excited to come. By the way, so I'll be there next week.
Yeah,
I love seeing you. Mm-hmm. I really liked LA. What I saw. Yeah. I couldn't put up with the traffic at all. I would never live there for that reason.
Yeah.
But that alone, like it could be pristine and cheap, and I wouldn't live there. And the weather is great. I sent you a snapshot of. I was like, fuck. Last time I was there was November and it was like hot, but now it's June. It's gonna be like 95 degrees. I look at it, it's like 75 and sunny every day. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like a high of 75, mostly like in the high 60s, low 70s.
Yeah, it's unusually. I don't want to say the word cool. But for this time of year in LA, it's unusually like usually it starts getting into the mid 80s by this time of year. But yeah, it's and also in the mornings it's kind of chilly and hazy. And then
that's nice. I look at them like, all right, I get that appeal. That's nice. That's very nice. New Jersey's crazy. Like especially this time of year, starting to kind of get more normal, like normalized. But like March, April, May, it's like 45 degrees, 74 degrees, thunderstorms.
Oh
like,
shit!
Crazy. Like it is kind of nuts. As I say, spring's a fickle bitch in New Jersey. So what we're talking about.
Yeah, you come to LA, so maybe we'll try and squeeze in an episode.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to do I think at least one in-person episode.
Yep.
We'll plan that off recording. So what else do you want to talk about? Because that was not what we were expecting to discuss first.
Let's talk college campus. Like it seems like there's some sanity is starting to.
I'm gonna gloat. Can I gloat? Permission to gloat?
Please do.
This is the shit. And this is happening more and more.
Yeah.
Where it's like we were saying this in episodes in 2021.
Yeah.
I was saying this, like I was pulling my hair out. Even before we started a podcast, I was saying this shit. I used to make jokes like, why is Chips Ahoy tweeting about Kyle Rittenhouse? Why is, the New Jersey Devils tweeting about Georgia voting rights? Like, why? Like, why is this happening? Yeah. Just shut up and sell cookies and play hockey. And with colleges, it's like just teach physics, create engineers, make doctors, for the love of God, please. Shut up about everything that's going on. You don't need to make a statement about everything. And it looks like some colleges are going that way, which with a lot of these things is a domino effect. It's kind of like the first one. Well, we shouldn't say the first one because here's what I've been thinking. It's funny how now I think this way instead of like if I could go to any college, it's like if my child could go to any college. That's I guess that's what happens when you go in your 30s. You kind of start thinking about the next generation. Yeah. So I by the way, I don't have children yet, but when I do, if my child had the pick of the litter, right, any school in America, full ride, like money's no object, full ride, whatever they want to do, I would send them to University of Chicago. I think it is and because they've followed what's called, I think, the Calvin principles. Kelvin, I know it's a unit of measurement. Calvin principles, where they've basically always done this, which is not comment on political, and now political means anything, political news, current events, whatever it is, just you don't comment about it. You don't take a stand on things because it's not your role. And I've always loved that about them. They did this during the George Floyd bullshit. They've done this through Israel-Palestine. They've done it through everything in between. They just don't say anything. They stick to principles and values, and I love that about University of Chicago. And now it looks like Harvard said they're going to do more or less the same thing. Obviously, Harvard's this school in Massachusetts, if you haven't heard of it. Very, very prestigious school. Syracuse, I think, came out recently with the next one who said they're going to kind of do the same. I want to gloat because this is the biggest I've told you so. We've told you so. But it also bothers me that it's just because it's hitting their checkbooks that they're doing this. It's not about, hey, maybe we shouldn't comment on every single police shooting or every single riot or every single trans this or what the governor of Texas does or whatever. But it's because, how do I put this? I believe Israel has the right to exist. And some people who also believe Israel has the right to exist are saying they're not going to donate anymore which is a big deal. Take that as you will. Again, I agree with these people. And so it's like, well, the ends justify the means. So fine. Yeah. I wish it was more principled than that, but fine. If someone like Bill Ackman or what are they called? The APAC or whatever these groups are, if they're going to then dig through your president's papers and find plagiarism, and that's going to put you in the news, and they're going to say horrible things, not say horrible things, but omit things, not be able to even have even like make a somewhat coherent and substantive argument in front of Congress. Yeah. Somehow at schools like MIT and Harvard and Penn, they can't, like, it blows my mind that these are the people who are running these institutions. Then it's probably better that you just shut the fuck up. Yeah. And I'm fine with that, because it would add some levity to everything. It's just like one less thing that we have to worry about. We have to deal with the activists and Hollywood and De Niro out there, and like enough with the campuses, because they see how it's actually a detriment to their prestige, which is really all that matters. No one goes to Harvard. Harvard is in Harvard. Yeah. In the end, these are just hedge funds that teach classes, is my opinion of them, most of them. But fine, if I were president, I would tax the endowments. I would love for a candidate to run on that. They would most likely get my vote, assuming we fall in line with some other issues. But I don't understand why these endowments aren't taxed. Some of these endowments are the sizes of like small countries. Right. I'm not exaggerating. Right. Like the fact, and they don't pay property taxes, I don't think, a lot of them. And it's just it's a farce to me. And then if you're gonna just promote horrible politics, it's not that they're letting kind of free flow of ideas form and debate happen. They're stifling speech, and they're making our culture more divisive, because these little shits then graduate and become, our HR and sit on our city councils and do all this other bullshit that I think ruin our communities.
So I'm looking at this is from the Harvard Crimson.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, me too. Here's an article from them about the new policy guidelines that they will be sticking to, the neutrality thing. The new guidelines come just months after former Harvard president Claudine Gay resigned following fierce criticism over her initial statement over Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel, a scenario that the university hopes to never repeat with this new stance. Our report argues that the university is fundamentally committed to a non-neutral set of values, specifically getting to the truth by experiment, open inquiry, and debate. The university is regularly under attack today, as truth itself is under attack. This report says the university should not be neutral in that important matter of the future of universities. It's funny, like, it just seems like a basic thing that universities should stick to, and why they drifted from that. It's like, we're going to go back to just telling the truth.
Well, they drifted to it because it became I think I have an answer for that. They drifted from it because a lot of these schools actually used to be like conservative, which is wild to think about. Yeah. But like actually very conservative. They didn't let Jews in. They didn't let obviously black people in. They didn't let women in. I mean, we're talking a while ago, but like their politics were conservative. These were because those were the Republicans. Like those were the conservatives. They controlled higher education. They controlled these institutions, and that all shifted. It all flipped, where if you look at, plenty of studies and surveys have been done about this. It's like there are more staff members, however you want to slice it. I forget if it's like professors or staff. Right now, they're administrators outnumber professors, which is why it's so expensive. Yeah. But like, let's just say professors, which are really the ones who are interacting with students. It's like there are like far, far more professors who identify as like far left, very liberal, like whatever the designation is, basically as far left as you can pick. There's significantly more that pick that than like center right. Yeah. And that's why when an issue happens, they feel so comfortable commenting on it, because it's a monoculture. It's a mono. And those who don't share that view of the vast majority there, they just shut up. Like they don't, like, there are a handful of very notable professors at some of these colleges who are known for being conservative. Obviously they have tenure, and they'll die out, and then they probably won't be replaced. But for the most part, it's like that, like the DEI complex, the administration complex. They all agree on these things, or those who disagree don't feel comfortable speaking up because they'll be pilloried, they'll be dragged through the mud. Even if they can't technically be fired, life will become so miserable for them that it'll be, in-kind firing. It'll be, you're just a persona non grata, and who wants to live their next 20, 30, 40 years like that? So they just leave anyway. Like, what's his name? Weinstein, right? At Evergreen. So that's why I think, to answer your question, why would they comment on this? Because they felt comfortable. Now, the Israel question throws a huge wrench into politics, because Jewish people in this country are one of the most reliably Democrat voting blocs in America. They just are. Yeah. That is changing. I know in New Jersey, there's huge, or the Orthodox are different. They actually vote. They are like one of those populations that they have tons of children. They are increasing rapidly, and they vote Republican. And them aside, in parts of Brooklyn and New Jersey, I worked in a county that this was a thing, and there's actually a conflict there. But besides that, like, your kind of average American conservative to even reform Jew is a Democrat voter overwhelmingly. And so when then you have people on the left protesting them, many of them not even saying like Israel should exist, that they're the colonizers, calling them Nazi, all this stuff, it creates it's a wedge issue, and it creates fractures on the left that, and also, I've said this before, it's something they should be proud of. Per capita, Jewish people are very successful. So a lot more influence and pull than their numbers really like amount for democratically. That's a good thing. Like, you should strive for that. That's nothing to be ashamed of, and it's not fucking racist. It's a good thing. Or whatever, anti-Semitic. So that caused a lot of issues, because a lot of people who sit on the boards at these institutions and donate to these institutions, send their kids to them, like, they don't like being, they were like, wait a minute, we supported you for BLM, we supported you for gay rights, we supported you for trans rights, we supported you against January, we supported you for all these things. Now, when we're the ones who are getting massacred, and there are a lot of Americans who also have an affinity to Israel's unique place, they don't take it very well, which I don't blame them for doing. And so that makes it very, if this was, I think if Jews were overwhelmingly Republican and if they had been voting like 80-90% Republican for 40-50 years, I think this wouldn't be, I think the issue would be much different. Like, I don't think Harvard and the Ivies and these schools would care as much.
Right. Well, who is on the side of schools?
Nice. Great segue. Keep going with it.
Well, the supreme leader of Iran,
Ayatollah.
The Ayatollah.
I love Twitter so much because I get to retweet the Ayatollah of Iran. And so so let's get some context, because and my name, did I spell Ayatollah right? So yeah, my name today is Ben, LGBTQIAyatollah plus. So the Ayatollah Khomeini, who runs Iran, it's a theocracy. The president who just died, no one really gives a shit. This guy really runs it. I like how he's verified, by the way. So the Ayatollah said on May 29th, so yesterday, "Dear university students in the United States of America, you are standing on the right side of history," which I retweeted with. Wait, did I retweet? Yeah, I did. I said hashtag Happy Pride, because people are like, you hang gay people, but like you hang gay people by cranes in your country. Like I would love, and I'm sure that there are plenty of dumb liberals kind of saying, "Thank you, Supreme Leader." Who I would like to see if he's celebrating Pride starting tomorrow. Actually, Happy Pride, Joe.
Yeah. Thanks,
one of the people I love, like, it's such a brain rot that some fucking dumbass, in all seriousness, was like, in Iran they have some of the most like progressive trans rights in the world. Like, they actually really promote trans rights. It's like, yeah, they promote trans because they kill gay men. So they would literally rather have men become women than have them be gay men. That's not progress, you buffoon.
Yeah.
And like you'll have activists tweet that in all sincerity.
Yeah.
Oh man, a lot of these. Someone goes, dear Khaleesi, you have 0 SEC championships.
Man. Yeah, this is
Queers for Palestine is just the
well, war makes strange bedfellows, right?
It really does.
There's a meme. This is posted by Wall Street Silver on Twitter. It's got like some like hipster vegan with the pride flag, and he's got the bun, and he's got a Palestine flag, and this is LGBTQ for Palestine, and then it cuts to LGBTQ in Palestine, and it just has like a grave.
Yeah. They're so fucking dumb. It's like they would literally throw you from the tallest building. They would hang you from a noose, like just for being yourself. Like, I don't think I know a lot like women and children. A lot of the women want you dead too. Like it's a fucking theocracy.
Yeah.
Like Hamas is a terrorist organization who is like a 7th century death cult.
Yeah.
Like they are not going to. Well, I forget who was saying it, but like there was I think he's some prominent guy in one of the Gulf states, Dubai, UAE, one of those.
Yeah.
He's kind of based, and he's like, yeah, a lot of Muslims, like they'll be open about, they just side with the left wing in a lot of these Western countries because they know the left wing is stupid, and they use them as like useful idiots to get into power because they can't do it with the right.
Yeah.
So they just do it with the left. Like they're the most kind of everything you fear. Like if you just replaced everything that these psychos did with Christianity, like these left wingers wouldn't like it. If they were like religious Christian theocracy, hating gays, hating women, like making women second-class citizens. Where in some of these countries, women literally can't walk next to their husbands in public. They have to walk behind them. Like if you just put like Christianity or Judaism or Hinduism, probably one of these other religions, then like they would be like, no, it's horrible, it's fascist. But because it's Muslims, like they have this brain rot, and there is this like weird crossover. It's like my like personal like. It's my personal hell, like my personal death cult is this intersection of like far left-wing Westerners and Islamists.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many of those far-wing left, like a prominent one who of course is some heir to a fortune in America who's a commie, who just converted to Islam.
Yeah.
And I forget who he is. But it's like so foreseeable that this, I mean, Islam, but at the same time, then you have people like Andrew Tate converting to Islam who like, dude, like left wing, do you not see if someone like Andrew Tate, who is your literal boogeyman, who you hate, who is one of these like new right,
like toxic masculine,
masculine, like the poster boy of it, he's converted to Islam. Maybe you shouldn't also. Maybe that's really what it is at its core. So anyway, how do we get on this? Oh, Ayatollah.
Ayatollah.
Yeah. So thank you, Ayatollah. Happy Pride.
Yeah.
I'll tweet at him tomorrow.
Yeah. So yeah, I told you this was going to happen. So that
subtle, but nice.
All right. Well, so want to talk Kathleen Kennedy?
Yeah, take this one.
Yeah. So Kathleen Kennedy, who is the head of Lucasfilm.
Make it gay, make it lame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she's been lambasted, most notably by South Park because of her tendency to like make every major franchise diverse and everything. And there's some event that she was at, and so obviously the most famous franchise that she's in charge of is Star Wars. She's at some Star Wars event or like a film screening or something like that, and she was wearing a shirt that said the Force is female. And it's just like, oh god. And then so they all of her attempts to diversify Star Wars have been met with plenty of criticism, and of course, instead of being like, hey, yeah, you're right, we got a little too far with it, she just blames it all on toxic fandom. So she was interviewed in the New York Times, but I don't want to give them clicks. I'm reading the Variety excerpt from it.
You think Variety is better than the New York Times?
Well, there's no paywall in Variety, so
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm like, oh, at least it's free. So
yeah, I think if you sign up, I actually am signed up to the New York Times, and I don't pay for it, but I've used subscribe to get stuff. But go ahead, I'm on the Variety too.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Well, anyway, so this is in regards to a new show, a new Star Wars series called The Acolyte, and that show is being shepherded by Leslye Headland, who sucks. She to me kind of epitomizes that sort of like, intersectional feminist,
Who's this?
Girl boss. Her name's Leslye Headland, I think.
Okay.
She's a showrunner. She's an executive producer and TV writer.
Can I be honest with you about something?
Yeah.
I don't know what a showrunner is.
Neither do I. I don't know if they're just like in charge of.
what is a showrunner?
They run the show.
Term that just like kind of came out in like the mid 2010s. There was just like, all right, this is a new job. It's like someone just invented a job. It's like, hey, here's gonna be my big normie take here. I remember in The Office when Pam just like creates office manager just to kind of make her own like job. She couldn't do sales. She don't be a receptionist anymore. That's what a showrunner is.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of a vague. They make some decisions. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
don't
really
either. I wanted to be honest. I know this is a safe space. It's a trust tree, and I wanted to let you know that I don't know what a showrunner actually does.
Yeah, to be honest,
I live here.
I know, and I live within 20 minutes of where all the showrunners are.
Probably you live around a bunch of showrunners. Ask them what they do. Hey, what do you do?
Showrunner.
Who the fuck? God, the homeless population is out of control in this town.
I know. Well, I think it's just like the term producer, where it's like it can range from someone who's on set and kind of like oversees a lot of day-to-day operations, or someone who made sure that the right contracts got signed 8 months ago, and now they're just like, all right, see you at the premiere.
When I hear producer, I just think money. Like who's bankrolling it? Like that I don't care. No one really cares about producers.
Yeah.
It's directors all that matters, and obviously like writers and artists and actors. But okay.
But I think showrunner is kind of a vague.
We will figure it out. What a showrunner is.
And we'll report back with our findings.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Leslye Headland, who sucks. I saw an interview with her. She was on some panel, and also she talks like a Valley girl, like this. That sort of like literally that's like literally a thing. Yeah, and so she was talking about diversity, and she this is almost like a verbatim quote. She's like, yeah, so like I know a lot of producers in the television industry who are just not diverse enough, and like, but they talk about how they want more diversity in television. But I'm like, hey, look, I'm calling you bitches out. She actually said, I'm calling you bitches out in regards to the lack of diversity in television. And she's talking like this, and it's just she has like the vocal fry thing. She has like the inflections and everything. So she's in charge of a new Star Wars show because that's what the fans want. They want that type of person to be running a show about aliens and lightsabers and shit. Yeah. So she's making the show, and I don't know if you saw the trailer for The Acolyte, but it's got a lot of it's very diverse. It's really over the top. In fact, this is a little sexist, but it's actually pretty funny. So the poster for the show, so there are blue and green lightsabers, and then there are red lightsabers, right? Yeah. So the poster for the show, when it came out, it had like the hilt of the lightsaber, and instead of like a red lightsaber, it was like a streak of blood. No, but that's pretty good. Might as well. But so it's like the hilt of the lightsaber, and then like instead of the red lightsaber, it's like a streak of blood. But somebody put a tampon or like a maxi pad under the streak of blood.
That's pretty good.
You're just like if the show wasn't so cringe and the show runner wasn't so cringe, I'd be like, that's fucked up. Like, let's give the show a chance. Maybe it's not as bad. But because she's been so outspoken about this shit, it's like, well. It's very much like that meme where it's like the feminist, where she's shoveling shit. It says like opinions. She's shoveling shit onto the internet, and then when the shit lands on her, she goes, toxic masculinity or something. And it's just like, like this, you're shoving the shit down our throats. We're gonna shove it back at you. So, and then you accuse us of being sexist and toxic and blah blah blah. So it's like, that's what you get. So anyway, so she's got this shitty show coming out, this shitty Star Wars show, and Kathleen Kennedy is defending it in the New York Times, and she said, some trolls have nicknamed Headland's series the Wokalite. That's pretty good. So Kennedy says, my belief is that storytelling does need to be representative of all people. That's an easy decision for me. It's like,
no, it doesn't. Like, what do you mean it needs to be all people? That doesn't make any sense. But like, it needs to be representative of the characters in the show, in the world. That this is like that's so boring. Like people want focused storytelling.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't mean you can't have a story of like, I don't know, fucking New York in the 1920s, and you have like rich people on Long Island on Park Avenue, and you have, you know, poor immigrants in the Italian Harlem, or you know, the Lower East Side, and you can tell different stories and how they interconnect. Like, that's cool. But like, no one just needs like trans Jedis, because we need the trans Jedi perspective.
Yeah.
Like if you want to make, like, it doesn't mean, I think if you want to have characters that are more, I guess, diverse, I think there are ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that when you make it your mission, I think that's when people roll their eyes. They don't tune in. I said, what was it? I watched last year, the Evil Dead movie, the newest one. It was pretty good. One of the main characters was, I don't know if he's even an overtly trans kid. It wasn't like, I'm trans and I'm gonna stick it to these zombies. Like, that was extremely offensive, but like, it wasn't like that. Like, like the wrapped around in a intersectional flag or anything. It was just like, it was a trans kid, most likely. I think so. Yeah, and that's what made it good. It's like, okay, you don't see this kind of character that often, right? Especially in a horror movie. It wasn't like it wasn't about the trans kid's plight and fighting, you know, oh no, the zombie took my puberty blockers. Like, it wasn't anything like that. It was just like, it was just a trans
it's a good plot, dude.
Yeah, like, oh shit, the zombie ate my puberty blockers. And I think I'll get my double mastectomy on Monday. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, it wasn't that. It was a trans kid dealing with the same shit that everyone else is dealing with in the movie, because their moms turned into it's not even a zombie. What's unique about Evil Dead? It's whatever they are. These like demon zombie creatures things.
Deadites. They're called Deadites.
Deadites. You're right. And that was cool. Like, that was fine. I get it. Yeah. Like, I get that. It's like, okay, for the next 50 years, we can't ever have trans kids in movies. No, I don't think that's the way to do it either, because they do exist. Yeah. But it's like, when the first thing that the showrunner or the director is talking about, or the owner of the gigantic company is diverse, it's like, people are like, oh fuck, dude, like, we don't care. Just make a good Star Wars movie. If you have a badass trans Jedi, or make it even cooler, make it like a badass trans Sith or something, so it's not always that the, you know, person at the top of the oppression Olympics is like always the hero, because that's fucking boring too. Make him like a cool trans Sith Lord or something, Sith Day, and that would be fucking cool. Fine. That, I think that'd be more tolerable to people. Yeah. But, and like, people might roll their eyes at first, but they'll, I'm just saying, like, I think you would give it more of a chance there. And it's more of like integrating it into culture in a fun, interesting way than just like, step aside, boys. It's the, you know, girl boss time. It's the, you know, last 3 letters of the ever growing alphabet time, plus color, race, two-spirit time. And it's like, and by the way, it's also going to be about Star Wars. It's like, no, dude, like, that's not what we fucking want. I mean, I gave up on all this shit a while ago. I don't care about, to me, this isn't canon. Like, I don't care. I don't care about the Star Wars shows. I've lost track of them. It's overdone. Same with Marvel. I think, if anything, these people don't learn, like, hasn't this shit all taken a nosedive? Yeah. Marvel movies and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. Didn't the last Lord of the Rings like bomb? Yeah. Like, people are just tired of or maybe not. I don't know. I could be wrong here. Yeah. But I think people are just tired of the constant just diversity in your face for diversity's sake. Yeah. Not because it adds anything to the story. It's just like, well, this character has been a white man ever since the creator who first drew this character created it, and in every movie and in every show, but now it's going to be a gay Black woman. Yeah. Deal with it. And people are like, can you just make a gay Black woman character and make her cool?
That's exactly my biggest gripe with this, is that it's representation in the most superficial way. It's completely artless. You know, like, one of my favorite movies is Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and so it's like, for me, like, I'm rooting. Yeah, I love that movie, and it's like, you know, Sarah Connor, like, she's an amazing character. Like, she's tough, she's badass, but she still has her maternal instinct. She still wants to protect her son. So it's like, she's complex, and there are times when she's vulnerable. There are times when she loses her cool. And it's like, that made her interesting. And so it's like, and so it's like I don't care what the gender is. She's a well written, you know, well acted character. That made me root for her. And so like they're not to be constantly quoting memes, but I know that we do that a lot anyway. But
verbal meme.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but there's one meme where like the first panel had it had like a group of girls, little girls watching a show, and like, the princess is white or something, and then the Asian girl and the black girl and the Hispanic girl are saying I'm not represented, and then the second panel is a group of boys of all races, and they're watching Dragon Ball Z, and they're going, "I'm represented." It's like, yeah, because it's a cool character,
and it's like green. It's like what's the green
Piccolo?
guy? Yeah, Piccolo, and the guy with like the big white, like the pink penis coming out of his head. And
and they're going, "I'm represented." Those are cool characters. It's like,
they're badass. I also don't, but I mean, sticking to this meme, I don't think the girls actually think that. I think it's their moms who are like these wine moms,
right,
who are watching this shit and like projecting it onto them because they want to sound progressive.
Exactly.
I've heard plenty. I mean, it's anecdotal. Like I've worked with people who their daughters, and they're not white, and their daughters, their favorite princess is the Frozen one. What's that one? I
don't know. Is it Rapunzel or whatever? Or?
No, goddamn, we're so off here. I almost said, oh god, oh shit, I don't know. This shows how much I know, but the blonde one, the blonde white one, like that's their favorite one. And it's not like because none of there existed. Like there have been plenty of non-white, even ones that match their race, but no, they like this one because she's cool.
Yeah.
And like, it's a good story. I guess she can sing well. Like I think that's all that matters. I'm sure that there are little white girls who like the black ones or the Latino ones, or they like, man, I don't watch this shit, so I can't name them, but you like, I don't know, Moana or the Mexican one, the Colombian one.
Is that Coco?
No,
that was Mexican.
Boy, yeah, no, there's definitely a Colombian one.
Yeah. And Encanto.
Encanto, yeah, Encanto, and that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think kids don't care at all about this stuff.
Kids are pretty colorblind.
Yeah. Dude, I remember I grew up in a very diverse area, and people who hear me say that might be like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, no. Diversity does it. Like, I think people hear diversity, they're just like, well, there weren't a lot of black people where you grew up. It's like, yeah, but diversity means I grew up with kids from like the Ukraine, Pakistan, India, China, Taiwan, Japan, like all like tons of languages, all different types of religions. I grew up with Muslim kids, Hindu kids, tons of Jewish kids. Jewish kids might have been the majority sometimes where I grew up. Like, which is a tiny minority here. All different types of Christian, like all over. There were kids who were from Europe, like different because their parents had money, so they moved and they like all different types of cultures, all different parts of Eastern Europe, both rich kids and poor kids who lived in like ethnic apartment blocks who were from Belarus and Ukraine and parts of Eastern Europe. And it's like when I look back at that age, like I didn't notice any of that shit. And I'm not just saying that. Right. I didn't. One of my best friends was a Pakistani kid. I loved going to his house because he would have like suits of Islamic warrior armor on his walls. And I thought that was so cool. His parents were extremely wealthy. And he had like all this cool shit in his house that I didn't think of like, oh, it's so diverse. I'm like, no, this is just cool.
Right,
like,
exactly.
These swords, he has like these curved Alibaba swords on his wall. This is awesome. Wow. Like I didn't think like kids who, tons of Chinese, like I didn't even think about it. They were just our friends. And it was really like much later. And we avoid a lot of this, but it was like all this shit now. I feel so bad for kids who it's pushed in their face. It's like, no, those kids, they're different than you. Yeah. It's like, what are you talking about? Those are my friends. It's like, no, we're on the same soccer team. Like we do art class together. It's like, no, they oppress you. Yeah. Or you oppress them. Like, what the fuck are we teaching these kids? I think that comes back to kind of this stuff with the cultural things. It's like, I think the market tells you what kids like. I do think you have to put other things out there. Like if we just had superheroes that look like Superman all the time, I don't think that's right. Sure, and I think there are tons of white kids who probably love Black Panther because he's cool. Yeah. And there are black kids who like Superman and Spider-Man. And I know Spider-Man's like black now or something, my opinion on that. But it's like getting back to the Kathleen Kennedy stuff, it's make your shows, that's fine. But you always hide behind the fact that you still have the Star Wars IP. Yeah. And you're going to make money because it's Star Wars. And if you really had the stones to make Acolyte, like you would make new art that was focused on whatever demographic you want it to be,
right?
Lesbian, indigenous women, fine, but make it new and make it good, and people won't care. And people will watch it, but you don't have the stones to do that. It's like the same people who I can't stand this. This is a thing now. I don't know if you see this in LA. When you go to a restaurant and it's like, like a hip, cool restaurant, and the bathrooms are like, we don't care what you are. Like you'll have like the half skirt thing, but it's like, we don't care what you are. Just like wash your hands after. But then you go in the bathroom and it's a single stall. Yeah. And so one person bathroom is like, no. You don't get to be, that's not the issue. Right. The problem isn't that the person who just went to the bathroom before me or after me was this gender. It's who's sharing the bathroom with me. That's the problem going on in this country that people have issues with. Yeah. So you don't get to be like the cool progressive restaurant that's like, do whatever, like, we don't care. It's and then also just have it be, but this is one bathroom. This is a one person only bathroom. That's just a virtue signal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also because like we've had unisex bathrooms forever in a lot of places. So it's like, it was. This is just a public bathroom at a restaurant.
It's just. Sorry.
Nope, you're kind of cutting out a little bit there.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Kind of killed. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. Kill my punchline there, but it was like, those used to just be called something. The bathroom, the restroom. Like it didn't matter because that's all it was, and then it became political, and they just put those signs up, even though nothing changed.
Sorry, one sec.
Am I okay?
Yeah. For some reason. Oh, there you are. Okay, sorry. Yeah, no, the tabs were just kind of being weird on my stupid browser. Anyway, but fucking Kathleen Kennedy, dude. What an idiot.
I mean, how is I don't really care. Like, with Disney, I'm not like invested in any Disney things really. Like, if they made episode 10 of Star Wars, like I would go see it. Like that kind of stuff. Sure. I don't give a shit about Marvel stuff. Like, so I don't think there's anything Disney specific that I'm really tuned into. So everything that I absorb of this is just like kind of secondhand. It's like more of the dialogue than me watching the Lord of the Rings. Is that even Disney? I don't even know. But whatever the issue is, like this, like I'm not watching it and having these opinions. I'm just kind of talking about the dialogue around it. So I don't really know, like, how is Disney doing? Like, how are these things doing? Do you know?
Yeah, they're doing terrible. Disney's been laying off a lot of people lately. They've had a lot of flops over the last couple of years.
I know Marvel reined it in, right? Like, just the quantity,
and also, so like the president of Disney even said, I think it was Bob Iger, even said, we're going to tone back the messaging a bit.
I thought he said that a while ago, and they haven't at all.
Correct. Yes. I mean, it's possible that because these shows were in development before he said that, that they're like, fine, we got to.
Well, Pixar's Disney, and they haven't had any real successes recently, right? Like, haven't they kind of flopped?
They've made some flops recently.
Yeah, and they're usually pretty good with stuff like, and again, Pixar. I think Pixar's the perfect example of. Because everything with Pixar is new, right? Like Pixar,
it's all original stuff. Yeah,
it's all original, right? And so beautiful. They get to make Soul, which is about a cool, like a black jazz singer who died.
Do you remember the controversy around that one though?
Yeah, he was black for like 10 seconds because he dies and then becomes a ghost. Hey, you can't win them all. I liked Soul. I thought it was good.
I've been meaning to check that one out.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
and like they could make and they've made not just like Latino, they've made like Mexican culture, specifically Colombian culture. They made Pacific Islander, Hawaiian, whatever Moana is. I don't know specifically what it is. Like, that's cool, and it's fun, and it makes these, like, it'll take something cultural like the god, whatever, the Hawaiian god, Pacific Islander god thing, and like make a song from it, and that's fun. It'll do, and then it'll do like Nordic culture, very cool. But like, what would suck if in Frozen 3, Elsa, that's her name, Elsa, is like an afro. Like, that wouldn't make any sense.
I know.
Just make an afro princess then. Like, and and that's what's cool. It's like Pixar, I think, can be where you don't have to do messaging. Like I even listen to a podcast that has like very left politically, very progressive, and even they say, and some things I agree with them with that is cool, but like even they're like, I hate the constant messaging in kids' movies. Like kids don't need that. They like make fun stories.
Right.
Like not everything has to be about like how hard it is to be a kid or racism or sexism. Like not everything has to be a what's the term I'm looking for? A fable for your period. Was not like Red was about. Like girl, like I don't know. Maybe just make a fun movie about a panda.
Yeah.
Let kids actually not have to deal with being a kid. Being a kid's hard.
Yeah.
Like I do give like I was a very anxious kid. I didn't feel comfortable a lot. I didn't like. I don't know. I was a moody kid. I was very, very anxious about my future. I don't know why necessarily. And sometimes it'd be nice to just like not have to think about that stuff. Like I actually had the problem now. It's kind of funny because I wish I had this problem. Like I couldn't gain weight. I wanted to be muscular, right? And I was always super, super skinny. I know people are like, world's smallest fiddle, but when you're a kid and you're an athlete, like, and people are talking, saying you have like chicken chest and bony arms and stuff like that sucks. Of course, like everything, problems are relative. I'm sure it sucks way more to have like biological obesity. I'm just saying, it's tough to be a lot of different kids. Kids who are wealthy, kids who are poor, and it's all relative and it is different. But maybe like make movies that take them out of that for a little.
Right.
If your whole company is about making kids movies.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And also it's just, kind of getting back to like the storytelling thing. Like it's such bad storytelling. If you're like, this story, it's just about the X experience. It's just about the Latino experience. It's just about the Black experience. It's just about the Asian. It's just like, you're besides the fact that you're alienating, a huge chunk of your audience who could actually relate, who could like watch your film, be like, oh, this is a culture I'm not familiar with, but I'm finding a lot of things I can empathize with here. I think a good storyteller can take something. It can take a character who on the surface seems very different from the audience, maybe because they're from a culture that they're not familiar with, or they're from a country that they've never been to, or from a time period that they know that they didn't experience, but then dig deep into that character and like dig up the humanity, like the thing that we all have, and make people go, oh, I see myself in that person. Like that I think is a mark of good storytelling. But what Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland and the rest of these people are doing at Lucasfilm and Disney is just like, yeah, this is just we want this just to target this one little demographic, and even that demographic doesn't even give a shit about it. It's like, yeah, this is just dumb and superficial.
Yeah,
this is badly written and it's heavy-handed.
It's literally the meme where it's like, pick your movie. I think a classic one was like the women Ghostbusters. It was like, men, this movie isn't for you. Like, one day, like 2 weeks later, the reason why men aren't seeing Ghostbusters. It's like, well, maybe you said that this isn't our movie, so why would we go watch it? There's also a total stinker. Apparently, I actually never saw it.
I've never seen it either, but yeah.
I mean, the reviews were pretty awful, like unanimously, and not just because it was like bigots on the internet. It was a
toxic fans.
Toxic fans, yeah.
All right, Benjamin.
All right, there, Jose.
I guess the next time I'll see you will be in LA, dude.
We'll be high fiving.
3,000 mile high five. All right, everybody. Stay reckless. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Donate to the Patreon.
Sign up for the Patreon. Tiers, merch. Check it out. It's all in the show notes. Follow us on and send questions. We're always down if there's a topic you want us to cover. A question in culture or for us personally, whatever that is. Quite what I always say, I guess, from a 7th grade history teacher. Any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints? All right.
That's right.
Stay reckless.
Stay reckless.
Grits.